Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Quita, and on this video I'm going to be talking you guys through my meal planning and recipe keeping routine, and then we're going to set up a brand new recipe keeper, which I'm super excited about. It just launched a new collection and wanted to share that with you, and then talk you through how I typically plan my weeks in terms of meal planning. So if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll stick around and consider subscribing, and also give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoy it. So let's jump in and do some meal planning, which is my favorite part of planning. If you've been here for a while, you already know that. If you want to see that, make sure to stay tuned. All right, guys, so I'm going to take you through every single step of the process when I do my meal planning and when I do my recipe keeping. And so that starts with my half letter planner, which is disc bound, and it's gorgeous. I love it. It's my favorite setup by far. And so I have a section in here. I'll just go ahead and pull this out. By the way, this is a Notique cover, if you were unaware of that. The planner slides right into the cover. It's genius. I love it. And then you can kind of set that to the side. That just gives you a little bit more room to play with. I did change some things in here, so don't let it throw you off. And I just did a flip through and then I changed some things. So I'll have to do another flip through in a few months. So I have a meal planning section in here, which is right there, side tab. And within my meal planning section, I've got the meal planner at a glance yearly. And then I've got some shopping list inserts, a meal planner insert, a couple of those, and then I keep my recipe cards in here for planning on the go, because if I want to do something creative, I'm typically going to reach for a recipe card. So I just keep some of those in here with the picture already at the bottom, so that way I'm ready to go. So I just keep a few pages of those, and then I've got a blank page, and then I'll typically keep the recipes in here that we are eating that week, so that way I already have it in here and I can easily just grab it and pull it out when I'm ready to cook. So that's what I keep in my meal planning section. And so the first thing that I typically do when it comes to my meal planning is I'll look on my at a glance, my year at a glance, and I'll see if I have anything planned, because I like to come here from time to time. I try to be consistent with it, and I'll just write in a month's worth of meals or a week's worth of meals, just depends on how I feel. And so I'll start here and I'll either write in that month or that week, or I will come here to check it to see if I've written it in already. And so if we look at September, we see there's nothing written here. And so in this case, I don't really feel like planning for the whole month or the whole year or the rest of the year. I just want to plan for this week. But I think these are great inserts for planning ahead. And so that way there's some months where I went ahead and I planned almost the whole, month out for recipes, and that worked out so well to just be able to come here and just say, okay, great, I already wrote out what I wanted to have based on what my family recommended to me that they wanted to have, or just based on me just being an overachiever or being ahead of the game and going ahead and writing those recipes in. So it's either going to be already here written in, or if it's not, then that's what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to decide whether I want to go ahead and write in the whole month or if I just want to do a week at a time. And so I'm just going to do the week in this particular case. I also like to show you guys the keep on hand, and so these are foods and items that we like to have on hand all the time, so I keep this in here just for reference. I do also have a full meal and recipe keeper bundle insert. I don't have that in here because I'm working on revamping it. It is in the shop right now, but I want to change it because it's kind of old. It's not necessarily outdated, because I'm going to keep the same look of it or the format of it, but I want to change the font and some different things to what we currently use. So that is in the works right now. And then once I do, that will be in here, and that thing is awesome. So for now, again, what you see is what I'm using now. And so in this particular insert on the left, I write what the item is. For instance, bleach is a cleaning product. Then on the right-hand side, I write in what that actual item is. This has helped me out so much to have. So that way I can just kind of know what we need and I won't forget anything because I'm always kind of starting with this list. Now, when it comes to the meal planning bundle inserts that I just mentioned to you guys, it has all of this already titled and everything. These are just fill paper inserts, but it does have like a keep on hand, like a refrigerator inventory, a freezer inventory, and all that good stuff. So I can't wait, and I hope that I can get that done this week so that I can let you guys know that that's available. So stay tuned for that. I will post it in my Facebook group, so hopefully you are a part of that so you can see when that becomes available, because like I said, I did use it in the past. It was awesome, and I can't wait to implement it back into this planner setup. Although what I have is really working for me, it just gives you a little bit more to work with in terms of pages. So again, year at a glance. So it's going to start there. Again, I'm going to either look and see if I've written it in. If I'm ahead of the game, perfect. If I'm not, I'm going to decide if I'm going to do that whole month or if I'm going to do that week. And I typically like to start, of course, at the beginning of the month. And then these shopping list inserts, I like to pop in my weekly. And so that way I can go ahead and write in my list. And then I have another shopping list breakdown that breaks everything down by section of the store. And then I also like these because these you fold at the shopping list portion. You'll fold it like this. And you'll be able to tear it out and take it into the store with you. That's why it's called the meal planning fold out in our shop. And this is probably one of the most popular items in our shop. So you can take that and fold it. And I like to just kind of fold it back and forth a couple of times. And then when I'm at the store, if I take my whole planner with me, I can easily rip it out and I have it with me, or I can rip it out beforehand and take it into the grocery store with me. So love these. Okay, so let's turn to the weekly layout. And now that I have the dashboard layout, which is what I'm currently using, I don't really pop in a half sheet all the time. Sometimes I may, just depends on the look, but with the dashboard layout, you could use this for whatever you want. So in this case, I typically use it for meal planning. So I'll write meal at the top or menu at the top, as you see, and then I'll write in what we're having for that week. If I don't use this for menu planning, then that's when I'll pop in that half sheet. So I love the dashboard layout. It's just been working out so well for me. And so this is the beginning of the week. So let's turn to the current spread. And we're just going to kind of go through it as if I'm actually menu planning, because I need to do that anyways. And actually, I'm not going to fold that down. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is figure out what we want to eat. Now, my son did tell me that he wanted collard greens this week. So he said he wanted collard greens and mac and cheese. So I am going to first prepare everything before I go and write it up here, because once I write it up here, it's final. So I need to come into my meal planning section. I need to grab a grocery list, shopping list. We'll use this one. Okay, so I like to have it just like this. This is kind of how I have it. So that way this is ready to be written in what I decide on, and then this is ready for the ingredients. And so I always like to write it down my stuff. I know I pin everything in my Pinterest board. I could technically take that to the store, but then you got to keep clicking around and it's just cumbersome sometimes. So I like to just have this one sheet of paper with me. Sometimes I'll even write it out here and then I'll take a picture with my phone and then I'll have a photo ready for me if I go into the grocery store. Now, I right now am in the not going to the grocery store mode, which means I order all my groceries for the most part on Walmart grocery service or Kroger Click List. Pretty much mostly Walmart, because I feel like you can buy other things besides groceries, and I always need other things besides groceries. So first thing that I do, this is my Pinterest. I'll come into Pinterest and I have a board called Yummo. I'll look in that board called Yummo and I'll just see if anything stands out to me. Also, if I am on a lifestyle change like keto or meatless or whatever I decide for that week. Y'all know I change like the seasons. Then I'm going to take note of that as well, because I want those recipes to, be geared towards that, whatever I'm doing at that time. If I'm not on anything, then I'm typically going to come to my Yummo board and I'm going to see what stands out to me and that looks really good. And I'm going to say, okay, we'll do that. So again, my son said that he wanted collard greens and mac and cheese, and I'll probably do some cornbread. So I already know what I need for those items. So I can go ahead and write that in here. And then once I write that in here, I can decide what day I want to cook that. And I just take note how, you know, my busiest days are typically Monday. And so I'm not going to probably do that on a Monday, maybe on a Wednesday, probably would be the best day for me to cook a big meal like that. So I'm going to write in collards. And then I know I need some noodles for the mac. I also always go to my pantry and fridge and freezer and check that first. So that's not something that you're seeing right now, but I kind of know what I have on hand, and that's where those inserts are gonna come into play when I finish that bundle. It has a place for you to go and pull your pantry and pull your freezer or refrigerator to see what you already have. That is actually where you should start, because you wanna kind of build recipes around what you already have. If things are gonna expire soon, you wanna take note of that, so that way you can make sure that you're using that stuff before it expires. So you always want to start at your fridge and freezer and pantry area first and see what you got on hand. And that way you also don't purchase it again if you already have it. And so sometimes I'll do it backwards, which means I'll write down my list and then I'll go to my pantry and freezer and I'll cross off or check off those items I have. So either way works, but I would definitely consider those areas in your home, the pantry, fridge, and freezer, before you go ham and buy all this stuff from the grocery store. Okay, so, and then I try to keep it simple too. I know my family loves a good meatloaf, but I'm kind of eyeballing this one skillet enchilada casserole. That kind of looks really good, and it's one skillet. I love one skillet. Okay, so let me finish writing this down, and then I have this. Now, if I'm gonna do a recipe card, then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and snap a photo, and I'll just keep it. Because certain recipes, if I know it's gonna be good, like I'm pretty sure that they're gonna love this, I want a recipe card for it. So I'm just gonna keep that on reserve because I'm probably gonna do that this week. I'm not gonna do it in this video, but I'm probably gonna do it this week. But I wanna wait until I have at least 4 photos, so that way I can maximize my sticker paper or my photo paper on the Canon selfie printer. So I'll print that sometime this week, maybe tomorrow, and then I'll go ahead and fill in the recipe card and I'll stick it in my planner so that way I have it ready. So we need noodles for the mac and cheese. We also need heavy cream. So I'm just gonna write down all the ingredients we need. Okay, so this is everything that I'm gonna need for the collard greens, because I kind of have a mental note in my head that I know I do have some items already, and then I'm gonna still go back to my refrigerator and freezer and all that good stuff and see what else I have. And then I know like some things like chicken stock and stuff, like I have that, so I don't have to write that in. So these are the main things that I'm gonna need to cook that. Of course, this isn't everything you're gonna need to make those things, but it's stuff that I know I'm gonna need to purchase from the store. So now we can go ahead and look at this one skillet enchilada casserole, which I'm gonna do the recipe card for later. It has a 5-star review, and I already have it pinned, so I know I probably have cooked it in the past. And when it comes to taking the picture, I'm always going to take the best picture. So although you saw me take a screenshot of that one, I may see one in here that I like better, and I'll retake the photo. So now let's figure out what all we need. I know I have ground beef, so I'm not even gonna write that in. I know I have taco seasoning. I have a yellow onion. I don't have mushrooms. I'm not a big mushroom person, but my family is. And then I'm gonna need some enchilada sauce. And it says Quita cheese. I don't know how to say that. I'm sure I'm butchering it, but I don't know if I'm gonna put that in it. I'm gonna write it though, just in case. Because sometimes I do my own thing, y'all. And then tortillas, and then cilantro is my favorite. And y'all, I want to get back into my meal prepping. Y'all know I used to do cook once, eat all week. Love it. It helped me out so much. But in this particular case, we're just cooking day by day, especially since I'm so busy right now. It's just a lot going on with the shop and just life. And so I don't really have time to do that right now. But I am going to get back into some meal planning Monday videos. So stay tuned. And that way I'll be able to do some prep. And cook once, eat all week is fantastic because you're cooking everything all on one day. And then you are storing in your refrigerator. And then you're kind of taking out what you need based on that recipe day by day. And you're warming it up mostly. And so I love that book. It's awesome. So that's everything that I need. That's a pretty easy recipe. I love easy recipes. We are a family of 4, so the least amount of work that I have to do, the best. And you know, if it's still yummy, that's even better. So now I don't see that this has a vegetable with it. I always try to pair it with the vegetable. So I'm gonna probably do a salad kit. So I will find some sort of Mexican themed salad kit to go with that, so that we have a vegetable. And then I like some bread, so I'll probably do some rolls. So I'll add that to the list. Okay, so we're done with that recipe. We already took a screenshot of it. It is in our Pinterest board so that we can go back later and cook it again if it's super yummy, which I know it's gonna be. And so we're good. So we've got a ground beef recipe, which is that recipe. And then we also have the collard greens and the mac and cheese. I was gonna do some fried chicken with it, but my family, when I do collard greens, they typically just really like the collard greens and the mac and cheese. So maybe I'll do a rotisserie. So that'll give me a chicken recipe, a beef recipe, and then let's look for like a seafood recipe. I like to keep it spread out. Ooh, that looks so good in terms of like just being versatile. That was, I do a really good shrimp and grits, but I don't know if I feel like doing that this week. Maybe I'll do some fried fish. I love fried fish. And this looks like a really good recipe from Creole Contessa that I probably had before. You know what? I'm not going to do fish. I feel like I do fish too much. See, you just got to talk through things, you know? And then I did some curry shrimp last week, which was really good. They really loved it. Okay, I think I'm going to do this Italian sausage and peppers. So we don't have to do a shrimp or fish recipe this week or a seafood recipe. I just like to kind of just have different looks. So this Italian sausage is what I need. And then I'm gonna get the frozen peppers in a bag. Those are super easy. I may even have some in the freezer. We're gonna click on it. And then I think I may have a sausage and peppers recipe in my recipe keeper already, but because I don't know for sure, I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of it just in case. And ooh, we'll probably put them on hoagies. Yeah, my family loves that, so I'm gonna write down hoagie rolls with probably some provolone. Yeah, that's gonna be so good. Okay, so I like that photo, but I'm leaning more towards something like this. Yeah, I like that picture. So I'm just gonna take a picture of it again. I might already have it in my recipe keeper, but just in case I don't, then I'll put it in there and I'll write in the recipe, and I'll do that before I start cooking for this week. Okay, it's 5 stars, and I take note of all of that stuff. That's why it's important to just be able to have, you know, have it saved somewhere. So I do have it on that Pinterest board. And so I can write in all of that stuff on the recipe card. So I need vegetable oil, which I already have, Italian sausage, green peppers, red onions, which I have. Certain things I always keep in my freezer or my refrigerator. Tomato paste I may not have, but again, we're gonna take this list and we're gonna take it to our pantry and fridge and freezer and just double check. Super easy recipe. It says I need diced tomatoes. And I need garlic, which I have. It says oregano, basil. I'm definitely a seasoning girl, so I know I have all of that stuff already. And then I wrote the hoagie rolls. And then what kind of cheese do I want to use? I think I want to use provolone, but it doesn't have cheese on here. So maybe I'll just make it an executive decision and just say that's what we'll do. And sometimes the recipes will recommend the type of cheese or whatever topping that they feel like would go best. But I think provolone would be just fine. All right, done. I have all 3 meals on this paper right here. Isn't that awesome? I love simple, easy family meals that just save time. And so now that we know what we're making, we can go ahead and transfer that onto our page. Okay, so we know we're not doing collards on a Monday because Mondays are crazy for us. So we'll probably do the peppers, Italian sausage, excuse me, and peppers. I could have just put sausage and peppers, because now I'm gonna have to abbreviate. And I cook on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's gonna be different for all of you. You know, you may cook every day. I don't have time for that. And so I cook on Monday. Whatever we have Monday goes to Tuesday as a leftover. And then I cook Wednesday, so that's when I'll do the collards. And then in my planner, I'm gonna put that I need to prep the collards. Since I'm making them on Wednesday, I need to prep and soak them so that they're ready. I cook mine for a long time. And so then that will take us to Thursday, excuse me. So collards will be cooked on Wednesday, and then there'll be leftovers for Thursday. And then Friday is when we'll have the, what was that? The enchilada casserole. And then I also want to take into, or you want to take into account as to if you're going out or not. Like, you know, do you have plans on Saturday? Whereas, you know, you're not going to be eating these leftovers. You have to take into account if you have plans, dinner plans already. So then, of course, you wouldn't have to cook. So I've got my grocery list. I have my meal plan written in. I also like to write in whatever store I'm going to do it on the side. That's why there's this blank space here. So this is probably going to be Walmart. I just like doing that. And then I'm also going to go here in my meal planner, and I might as well just go ahead and write it in, just so you can kind of know what you had. It's not mandatory. None of this is mandatory, but it all helps. So I'll just come here and write it in. Plus, when you reflect and you see what you want to cook, you can say, oh, we already did that. My family may not want that this time, you know? So this would be for the current week we're in, which is the week of the 7th. So, of course, this week I didn't write anything in, of course, as you can see. So Monday the 7th. Okay, so now we've got it written in there as well, so that way we can come back and we can see that we made that. Okay, so I did my menu for the week. I know what we're having. I have all of the items written down. So now I'm gonna look and see what I need from the keep on hand list. So I'm just gonna go down the list and see, do we need tissue? Do we need paper towels? Do we need soap? You know, and so on and so forth. And I try to stay to my list. I try really, really hard. Now, sometimes when you're ordering online, you see things and you're like, okay, I need it. But for the most part, I try to stick to this list. Our budget for groceries every week ranges from $150 to $200. And sometimes it's less depending on what we already have on hand. Sometimes I go weeks and I just pull things out of my freezer and just kind of make something up as we go. Or sometimes we'll have breakfast for dinner or something like that. So sometimes I don't even spend that much on groceries every week. So it all just depends, but my budget, I try not to go over 200 unless it's like a week where I haven't done grocery shopping for like a week or two. And that happens sometimes, y'all. That's real life. And I always just make it work. And so that's our budget, just in case you're wondering. And then I also like to have snacks for the kids on hand. So I try to do healthy snacks. And so I like to keep those stocked up as well. And I have like a whole area where I keep them. And then I have like a little hidden area that they don't know about. So I wrote in everything that I could think of. And then I'm also going to go around and ask Malachi what he wants. Does he need anything? I'm going to ask my husband, does he need anything? Addison, I pretty much knows what she needs, but I let her get a couple of things that she wants. So I'm going to ask her as well. And then I'm going to write those in. But for the most part, this is the list, which is pretty short. So I'm not going to spend that much this week, which is great. And so let's go ahead and put this in the week. So this will go in as a half sheet because this is the grocery list. I need it for reference. So we'll pop that in there. And so that is pretty much it. And that's what I do when it comes to my meal planning. And so what I'll do next is now I'll go onto my app, my Kroger app or my Walmart app, and I'll go ahead and order the groceries. And I tried to order them on Sunday. Today is Monday because we had so much going on this weekend. I wasn't able to do it, but I typically order it on Sunday and then I have it delivered, scheduled to deliver on Monday morning. And so that way it's there, it's ready to go. I'm ready. I'm in the right frame of mind. I know I've got to put groceries away, and it just works for us that way. So since this is Monday, I may either do Kroger delivery, which is part of Instacart. There is a fee. I try not to do the fee because the fee can get a little bit pricey. But if I'm rushing or if it's like a last minute like today, then I may need to do that. It just all depends. I'm going to go see if I have anything for these recipes in the kitchen already that I may have more than I think I have. So I may be able to do that enchilada casserole because if I can remember, I think I may have everything I need. So that would be great because it just makes my life easier. I may even have everything for the sausage and peppers now that I think about it. So I'm just going to go check. Again, we have to do that anyways because we've got to mark off what we have so that we order the appropriate things. So I'm not going to show you what I'm going to order on the Kroger or Walmart app because I still need to do that part of the process. And then sometimes I do shuffle things around. If I say, okay, you know, I really don't feel like cooking this today. I'm in the mood for this. These are the 3 recipes I'm going to cook for that week. It doesn't have to be on those days. I'm just planning for it to be, but if it doesn't, that's okay. And so again, I've got to go and just double check my stock and see what I have, cross everything off that I do have. Then I'll have my true list and then also poll the audience, my kids and husband, to see if there's anything that they need that they haven't told me that they needed yet. So that's their opportunity to let me know. So this is my shopping list for the week. I'm ready to go and order my groceries. And then this is what we're having this week. And then I went ahead and wrote it in the meal planner monthly. So that way I have it for reference when I'm doing next week. I won't duplicate things we already made, or when I go like a month out, I won't duplicate, you know, things that we already had that I know that maybe they didn't like, or maybe, you know, just not to have it so far close together. I also didn't mention that I have a family favorites list. So there's just some items here that I know they're going to love. And so sometimes when I'm just trying to think like what to cook and I want to make sure that they're going to love it, I'll just pick something from this list. So I would definitely recommend having a family favorites list. Okay, so we're done with this. We are good to go. So now we're going to have some fun, and I'm going to show you my recipe keeper that I'm currently using, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to set everything up going forward. Okay, this is my current recipe keeper, which is my Notique cover, super gorgeous and chic, and I'm going to see if I'm going to keep it. I'm just trying to work some things out in my head rather. You guys saw a video on my channel where I did a recipe keeper plan with me, so you kind of know how this is set up, but I keep all my little photos here. These are recipes I need to plan for. I pretty much know what they are. Sometimes I'll write it on the back so I don't forget. And so, you know, I'll also pull one of these based on, you know, what I showed you before with the recipe cards. When I'm feeling creative and I want to create something really quickly, I'll pull one from here and then stick it to the recipe cards. So don't forget, we also have to stick the recipe cards for those recipes in the planner for the week. And remember, I took those screenshots from my phone. I think I already have a collards recipe because it's in my head. So those other 2 recipes I did capture the photo for. So we're going to plan those out and stick those in the planners. And so that's what I've got just pinned there to the top. And then within the planner, I've just got a ton of fill paper. At the end from Notique, some notes paper. And then I have all of the recipe cards up front. And I've got some meal planning inserts in here as well so that I can pull some of this if I need to restock the planner. And I do have a whole happy planner recipe keeper that I'm working on transferring all of those recipes out into here. So I'm going to show you that really quickly. I don't talk about that as much, so I'm going to show you. Okay, so again, this is going to be the new one. It's half letter. I'm transitioning everything in here. I love the recipe pages, so I'm going to show you that in a minute. But this was my baby at some point, and I used to use this all the time. And I'm excited to get all the recipes that I really like out of here and into that planner. But this thing is chunky. So we've got a pocket folder in here. We've got some Publix recipes on the back. And then this thing is loaded with recipes. When I say loaded, you see that? So just think, if I do end up transitioning all this stuff out, I got a lot of work ahead of myself. And so what I was thinking I was going to do is just pull the ones that are near and dear to me for now. As you guys know, Recipe Keeper for me is going to be passed down to Miss Addison for her family. And so I'm excited to get my other one set up with using my inserts. I just love how neutral they are, because I felt like sometime with these pages, although for the most part they are neutral, they really are. I don't know, I just, you know, I trimmed down with my size, so now I'm in half letter as opposed to classic size. And so I don't know, I just want something chic and sophisticated, and I want to hand this to her in this chic and sophisticated format, if you will, if that makes sense. So I think what I'm going to do is just take some of the ones out that are really popular, like this one's really popular, and just transition it into the new planner. But as you see, I did a lot of videos on my channel. I used to do a lot of videos on my channel using this recipe keeper from the Happy Planner, which I still do love. I just want to transition into my inserts. I'm all about me in 2020. And I just love, you know, the neutrality of the pages, and it's just my thing. So this was my first ever squad project for the Happy Planner. And of course I did a recipe card because it's my favorite part of planning. As you all know, I've said it a whole bunch of times. And so I just basically created these little cards to stick inside this little makeshift envelope. And I just thought it was super cute. And then I did a circle punch, and I kind of just broke out all the ingredients. And I thought it was just really creative. So that is my Happy Planner recipe keeper. So I'm still going to keep it. Even when I transition into this planner, I'm still going to keep it. So I know it sounds silly, but I just want to get everything onto these pages, which I love. I'm just obsessed with the look of the recipe cards here. As you can see, there's just a little simple photo down at the bottom, and then you've got a clean blank slate of a page that you can work with. So as you see, I have a lot that I still need to plan for, and some of these recipes are in the other one that I just showed you. And so sometimes what I'll do is just pull a page out, and I'll sit down on a Saturday afternoon and I'll just plan it out, and it just makes me feel creative. And I don't know, I just like this part of planning. Is just really important because we all want to be, you know, prepared when it comes to feeding our family, and I just enjoy it. It's therapeutic for me. Okay, so I have to decide now. I'm going to show you the collection. We do have a meal and recipe collection called Simply Delicious, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I'm going to use to set up this recipe keeper. Okay, so this is one of the covers. I love this cover. It's my favorite cover in the collection. We've got one with, you know, we've got some with dolls on them. We've got a lot of different varieties of the covers for the meal planning. So you'll just have to check our site out and see what you find that you may like, because you may not like this design, but we've got a ton of different designs. So I'm going to pull it off and open it up so I can show it to you how I'm going to set it up. So I was trying to decide if I want to use this as the cover, or if I want to keep my Noutique cover and just put this on the inside as like a dashboard. But isn't that really cute artwork? I love that. So this is the inside. As you can see, very chic and still kind of neutral, even though it's got that color. And then that is the back, and this is the front. Love it. So if you're going to use it as a dashboard, you can just simply pop it in and it should work. But sometimes other people's stuff is formatted differently from mine, you know, because I like to give a little extra space on a half letter. But some people just like the half letter to be like perfectly precise, or even the top to bottom is different. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this baby up as a brand new, because I like this cover so much. Okay, so I'm going to show you some other things that I'm going to be using as well. So we have our meal plan inserts, which have the meal plan here in the middle, and then the shopping list on the side. They're called fold outs, so that you can fold this out, take it to the grocery store with you. And then I've got the shopping list inserts where you can write the store on the side, which you just saw me use. And then these are the breakdowns, so you can break down, you know, produce aisle, meat, breads, and so forth. I got a pin loop. I've got some of our new discs. These are the charcoal discs. They're plastic, but I love them. This is our new packaging, by the way. So we keep them in these little containers here. And then I, of course, need a pin. So I've got my favorite Paper Mate Flare pin. So we're ready to set this up. So we're going to take the cover and open the discs. See, as you can see, they're a charcoal color, but they're still transparent. And I thought they would go perfect with this cover. And so I got these in 1.25, I believe. They may be a little bit smaller, 1.15, because I don't want this planner to be super duper bulky just yet. But if I outgrow these discs, I can always change them. We do have transparent discs and clear, and we have metal discs in the shop as well. So I could always change them. But doesn't that look so chic with this cover? I just thought it was just perfect. So I said we'll just do this size. Okay, there was an extra disc in there for some reason. All right, so now we've got the covers on. So the first thing I want to do is transition this stuff out of here, and I'm not going to transition everything. I'm just going to transition the photos and the inserts. And eventually I will have some divider tabs in here that will have the sectioned, just like the other planner. Have like, you know, entertaining, you know, chicken, ground beef, and so forth and so on. So I still need these. So I'm going to keep those pinned and just pin it to the shopping list. All right. And now we just need more fill paper. So I'm going to add some more recipe cards eventually. I don't feel like I really need any more just yet, but I do want to add some of this fill paper. So when I need to replenish my regular paper, I'll come in here and I will grab out what I need. Okay, so these are gonna go in the front. Okay, and a little trick when it comes to the pin loop, what I like to do is I will put the pin on the pin loop first, and then I'll put the pin loop on the planner so that way you can kind of get the spacing right. Okay, so I'll hold it like that. And then I'll kind of close it up just so I can kind of see and get an idea as to where I want it before I stick it down. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, I didn't stick it down yet, so I can come a little bit further in. Okay. All right, perfect. So that is pretty much it. So I'm gonna go in and fill this up with more recipe cards now that I think about it. So I'm gonna grab some more recipe cards and fill this baby up, and this will be complete. Don't you love it? So cute. I love it so much, and those charcoal discs just make everything pop just the way you want it to, especially with this color scheme, and I just love it. So I keep mine in my craft room. Sometimes I'll take it and leave it in the kitchen. It just all depends. The reason why is because I am pulling out the recipe card, remember, and I'm putting it in my planner. So I technically don't need to lug this around everywhere. I don't really need it in the kitchen because I've already pulled the recipe card that I need for the week, or the 3 recipe cards that I need for the week, and I've put them in my planner already, so I don't necessarily need them. But you could keep this in your kitchen. A lot of people do keep their recipe keeper in the kitchen. So that's not an odd thing to do. It's probably odd the way that I do it, but I love this so much. And so I can't wait to fill it up with all of the inserts so that way it starts to get chunky. I can't wait to really fill this thing in with recipes and transfer some things over. And of course, I'll take y'all through the process because I know y'all may want to see that. So I just love the whole setup. I think it's super cute. And I still have my Notique notebook, so I may go back and forth between the two. It just depends. That's the beauty of disc bound. I can take this planner off and put that back on, and I can just keep going back and forth between the two. But since this is a meal planner specific notebook, I wanted it to look like that. And so that's it, guys. So again, we have a full recipe collection called So Delicious. Hopefully you love it. It's got fill paper. It's got it's going to eventually have the 3-piece or the 11-piece kit that has the sticker, the cover, and the fill paper. We've got fill paper by themselves. We've got the discs now. We've got all different types of inserts. There's a full collection list on the site for meal planning, so it's easy to get to. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm gonna post some after the pins and some different things in my Facebook group, so make sure to join me there. It is at Fancy Plans Co. So hopefully you will become a member there as well, so that way we can share ideas and just kind of bounce things off of each other, and we can get inspired by each other. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in for this everything meal planner video. You guys know it's my favorite part of planning. I love sharing with you tips and tricks on what I do. I love hearing your tips and tricks as well, so make sure to share them with me below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video so much so that you will consider subscribing, and you'll come back and catch another one, in which case I'll see you then.